Good morning. I'm Denise Dryden, and today I'm doing my weekly video on the things that I'm noticing in my coaching in my life around, in the community, and sort of putting some names to what it is and what we can do, right? What we might be able to do about this. So as a coach, as someone who works with energy and systems and family systems and how we interrelate with each other, these insights seem to be kind of fun to put together once a week. So what I've noticed is that today I want to talk about skills, some of the greatest skills that we can have moving forward. And the most important part is to sort of put this all in perspective. So if we look at maybe January through June, what we know is that there was this repetitive sort of chaos. Like things were happening, we had no idea. Maybe we're going to have another lockdown, maybe we're going to have food shortages, and it was just this sort of humming, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. And then I was listening to Susie Miller, and I do her weekly integration calls, and she said, hey, we're in a calm period. And it took me a minute to sort of realize that at the beginning of July, maybe till about the 10th or 11th, there was this like deep exhale, like, okay, I am calm. It doesn't feel as chaotic as it used to. And then what I noticed is that it's starting to pick up again. And now that we're into the second week, going into the third week of July, it's interesting watching how things are starting to speed up again. And so the term for it might be the quickening, that we're going back into some of that chaos. So knowing that that is where we have been and that we're going forward, and it does require that we address it with an awareness of change, right? An awareness of everything is changing in front of us, and what do we do when things change? What I want to sort of put in context is that over the last 10 years, it seems like there's a lot of tapping on the shoulder, like it's time to let go of what no longer serves you, to address some of these old patterns within yourself, and to release people, places, and things that are toxic for you. And we all were like, yeah, I'm doing that. And now we are in a place where things are starting to happen faster, and we don't have a lot of time anymore to do the deep dives into, where is this coming from? What's this about? How do I heal this? Because over that period of time, we took inventory. We made our lists, we did our work, we prepared ourselves, whether we, or did it consciously or unconsciously. And I also wonder if part of the lockdowns of 2020, 2021 weren't preparing us for like what really matters to you. What is it that you want more than anything else, and how are you going to start creating that? So as we move forward and we're looking at self, we're looking at what do I need? Who am I? What matters to me? My partnership. Am I in a relationship that sustains me and can move and be adaptable with me? How do I do this with my children? How do I do this with my community, my extended family, the world around me of people who matter, right? So I'm going to use the wagon train analogy because for whatever reason I use that a lot. You decide that maybe we need something different, and you're going to get all of your resources together. You're going to sell everything you have, and you're going to pack a Conestoga wagon, and you're going to meet somewhere in St. Louis, or pick a spot, right, on the furthest east that you can go. And you're like, we can do this. And you start out on the journey. And it's important to recognize that not everybody who starts the journey ends at the final goal. So the final goal might be, the final goal might be that you want to get to Oregon. You might want to get to California. You might want to get to Montana. You might want to get to Texas. You just don't know where you end up, but the final goal may be way out there. The whole wagon train is going to Oregon, right? But you may decide to go the whole way, or you may get to that first valley, 10 days out, and you think, this is close enough to civilization. I like it. I'm staying here. Because we all know what we need and what we can do. And sometimes just those first days in the journey, they make it super impossible to to realize, to know, I can't go on. I'm not going to, if it gets worse than this, I'm not doing it, right? So what we know about the wagon train analogy is that each of us is going to go into these changes. Each of us is going to go into our, I've got messages coming in at the top. We're going to go into our journeys forward with some expectations, with some hopes and some fears, and we're going to have some realities that step in, right? So what we can expect as we're going through changes, as we're expanding, as our culture is dismantling institutions, as it's starting to change, as we're working on new technologies, is that our institutions are going to move, and our relationships are going to change, and we're going to watch new developments, new technologies, new growth, new ideas coming up, and we're like, can I go there, or am I going to stay here, right? And I hope I'm being succinct with that. So there are 3 things that I focus on with my clients when we're looking at approaching change. How come things are falling apart? What do I do when my child doesn't want to go back to school? What do I do when I can no longer go into this job? What do I do when I want to move to a different state? Like, these are really, really concentrated, things that are happening to us we're making decisions like this all the time, right? And what happens when there's anxiety and there's agitation and there's real high levels of discomfort and levels of anticipation? So the first thing that I would say is that it's really important to feel your body, actually feel it, that you're in it. Can I feel my body? What's going on? And, check in like you would something that you manage, like your car or your air conditioner in the summer, because it's really important that it's on. Your garden. So I know a lot of men and women who love to garden all summer long, and they plan their schedules around how many days they can be away before they have to take care of weeds and whatnot. So, like, what happens if we do that with our body? Or we track our body the way we track sports events or teams, right? So the second thing is your brain, our thoughts. What happens when we have these thoughts coming in all the time, and are we calm and confident with them? Can we expand with them, or do they stress us out and then keep us up at night? And how do you set the pace with what your thoughts are doing and how to stay with that? The third thing is your nervous system. These pulses are known and unknown. Sometimes it's a solar flare, sometimes it's the astrology, sometimes it's the collective, sometimes it's something local in your community that's setting you up and out, right? So, where is your nervous system in stress? Where is your sympathetic and parasympathetic overactive, and you're dumping cortisol into your body, right? Where are you experiencing control? And where are you experiencing overwhelm? Like, I'm not sure that I know how to do this, and every part of my body is not cooperating. So the bottom line is that what I'm building is that we're going into change, and we're multidimensional beings, and our multidimensionality is going to be active as we're moving forward. It's going to take us there. So we're going to feel the things that are invisible, and we're going to react to them. We're going to have physical bodies that we have to move around, we have to feed, we have to sustain, and we have to manage. We have ideas and thoughts, and those thoughts they come into our systems all the time, and they don't always need to be followed. And the other thing is that we have senses, and we sense everything. Yet we're overwhelmed. We can get overwhelmed and shut down from those senses. So the greatest skills that I can identify, and that I work with over and over and over again with my clients, is how to develop an awareness so that you can keep moving forward. Because moving forward is where we're going. We can't really stay stuck, and the world's moving a different direction. And so how do we go there? So I have 4 tips, 4 tools for you, okay? So the first one is to embody. Absolutely embody. Care for your physical body. Check on it often. Feel it. Look at, am I drinking enough water? Am I hydrated? What can I do with supplements? What can I do with diet, nutrition, fuel, right? What do I do with rest? How to bring in your consciousness to everything that your body's experiencing, because what you do during the day is what you notice. And when you notice this, you can make choices for your body. Like, I'm feeling really tired. Maybe it's okay to take a 10-minute nap so that I have energy for later. So we can do this with other tools, our battery chargers, our phones, everything. But we don't do that with our bodies. So embody and notice that you have an entire system to manage, right? Number 2, build your senses. Build your smell, your taste, your touch, your sight, your sound, right? Expand these clairs. Now, in my Indigo Assignment book on page 103, I have an entire list of all of the clairs. And so the clairs are clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, which is, where am I sensing things? Where do I know things? How is information coming into me? And what can I do with that? And so it's like how we get curious about this, right? So build your senses. Rely on them. If you're smelling something that you haven't smelled before, go, well, that's interesting. That triggers me into a memory or into an action that is exactly on spot and timely. So learn the value of that, right? Number 3, get to know your nervous system. Like, really get to know it. What activates it? What zings it? When are you like walking around going, I don't know what to do because every part of me just won't stop pulsing? Or what does calm feel like? What does it look like when you can actually feel your body melting into the couch, melting into the chair, melting into the bed? What happens with your nervous system and again, your cortisol activation? What do you do when? Get really basic on managing this energy system. When I feel activated, these are the things I know how to do to calm it down. When I feel lethargic and I need to activate it, these are the things I need to do to get my energy system going. My nervous system and my energy system are all connected, right? Number 4, get playful with your thoughts. They're going to come in absolutely all the time. And you get to decide, am I going to listen to it or not? Kind of like a television channel. Maybe you mute the commercials. Maybe you change the channel. Maybe you pack up the television and you pack it away for the summer and you think, how do I get some break, some relief, get a break from all of this constant information that's coming in? Because the reason we want to be playful with our thoughts is that our thoughts create the form in front of us. In other words, what we think about starts to show up in front of us. So what do we want to think about? Do we want to think about the news every day? Do we want to think about the horrific things that could happen? Do we want to think about what happened in the past? Do we want to think about yesterday or, 2 days ago or a year ago or 10 years ago? So what we're doing is we're building constructs. So allow yourself to build something new. And we can't do that if we aren't playful with our thoughts. If our thoughts grab us and they take us into, oh, woe is me, this is hard right now, then we're going to keep creating hard. If we allow our thoughts to go into, I wonder what it will be like when I have more freedom with my job. I wonder what it will be like when my child is actually thriving learning. I wonder what it will be like when my partner and I are in a more balanced way of being with each other. So we start to create that instead of worry. So these are the kind of things that I've been touching on, each week with the clients that I have and deepening this. And it's just been fabulous work. So if this is something that you're interested in doing with me, you can always find me on DeniseDryden.com. And please like and subscribe to whatever site you're on because I need my numbers to go up. And I also, if you haven't ordered Indigo Assignment or you haven't read it yet, I highly suggest it because it really takes you through this journey as well. That's it for today. I will see you next Sunday. Take care and enjoy this summer.